Okay, so what is motivation and how does it power your productivity? Motivation is that inner spark, right? That makes you want to get up and get going and tackle your goals. So whether you're working a 9 to 5, running your own business, running a YouTube channel, whatever it is, or balancing your family life or a blend of both, motivation is that fuel that keeps you moving forward. But what exactly is it, and why does it matter so much for getting things done? Motivation is basically that drive that pushes you to act. It's why you might get out of bed and hit the gym or stay late to finish a project. It's what makes you tick, whether it's for personal satisfaction or external rewards. There are actually two types of motivation. You have intrinsic motivation. This is the motivation that comes from within. It's about doing things because they're meaningful to you. So maybe you're working on a side hustle because you're passionate about it, not just because of a paycheck. And then there's extrinsic motivation. Extrinsic motivation. This is driven by external factors. So rewards, recognition, or avoiding some type of consequence, right? It's like, okay, I need to do this, otherwise XYZ is going to happen. Think about working hard to get a promotion or finishing a project to avoid the deadline, right? The looming deadline that's coming up. Both kinds are crucial for productivity, but finding a balance between them can really supercharge your drive. So the role of how do I keep saying motivation? I'm blending motivation and notification. The role of motivation in productivity. Motivation isn't just like a buzzword, even though we've heard it time and time again, especially in social media and on YouTube. It's like, oh, okay, everybody's a motivation guru, but it's actually a central thing when it comes to getting things done. And here's why. Motivation boosts your effort, right? So when you're motivated, when you're passionate about something, you're like, you got that spark, that drive, you're more likely to put in the effort needed to achieve your goals, right? It's like having a personal cheerleader, pushing you to go the extra mile when you're tired, when you don't want to, when it's like, okay, it still needs to get done. So, I'm motivated to do what needs to be done. Motivation improves your focus. High motivation helps you to zero in on your tasks and minimize distractions. It's like having blinders on that keeps you from getting sidetracked, right? Like you're in the zone, you zoned in. Motivation increases your resilience, right? Motivation helps you push through obstacles and setbacks. When you're motivated, challenges feels like bumps in the road rather than a brick wall. Motivation encourages goal setting, right? The more motivated you are, it drives you to set and pursue goals. It provides a direction and makes your efforts feel purposeful. So some techniques for, a technique for getting motivated after losing motivation, because we've all been there, right? It's like, okay, either you get burnt out or you're tired of doing something, or you don't see the reward or your goal coming into a fruition fast enough. It's like, sometimes you just lose motivation. So a technique for getting motivated after having lost motivation is something called the 5-minute rule. So let's say you've hit a motivation slump, right? So don't trip. Sometimes, just getting started is all you need to get back on track. And that's where this 5-minute rule comes in. So here's how it works, right? Here's how it works. You pick a task. Choose something that you've been putting off, right? It could be anything from writing a, let's say, YouTube description. It could be writing the outline for a piece of content that you want to create. It could be anything, right? Anything. Here's what you do. You set a timer. Give yourself like just 5 minutes. That's it. Set a timer and commit to working on that task for that short burst of time, right? And then you just dive in. Start that task with the mindset of working only for those 5 minutes, those focused 5 minutes. Often just getting going makes you want to keep going, right? And then you elevate. When the timer goes off, check in with your, elevate. You evaluate. When the timer goes off, check in with yourself, right? You might find that 5 minutes was enough to get the ball rolling and you're ready to continue. And then sometimes it feels like, how can I utilize, this 5 minute rule more effectively, right? Do I need to work in a quiet area? Do I need to maybe do my task at a later time of day or earlier time of day in order for it to be, the 5 minute rule to be more beneficial? And like, here's why it works. It makes tasks feel more manageable. It like, boom, okay, it's just 5 minutes. Just take me 5 minutes to do. Big tasks can be overwhelming, right? But breaking them down into smaller chunks, it helps. It makes them easier to complete that task, and you're more focused. And it helps with building momentums. Like, starting is the hardest part, right? So, but once you get in the groove, it's easier to just keep moving forward. Motivation is like the engine that drives productivity. When we understand what motivates us, and using a technique like the 5 minute rule, or the like the 2 minute rule, where if a task can be done in less than 2 minutes, then just go ahead and do it. Using those type of short timed techniques, it boosts our motivation. It makes us more productive. We can actually see, like, okay, it's a tangible thing that we can see, like, wow, I'm actually accomplishing my goals by doing this small task. It keeps our productivity high, even when our motivation wanes. So, when you're struggling, just remember, just start and the rest will follow. Just start today, start now. Not tomorrow, not the next day or the next day or the next day or the next day. You can do it.